Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about enabling versus not enabling. And so a lot of the time when we speak to, especially parents, about an adult child who has a long-standing, long-suffering behavioral health issue, we try to get some background information as to, like how is the adult child supporting themselves? And a lot of the time what we hear is they're not able to work. They're not able to function. They can't hold down a job. They can't, focus in school, whatever it happens to be. And so they're either living at home with the parents, or sometimes they're out of the house because the parents simply cannot deal with the crazinesses of the situation. And the parents are paying for perhaps a room or an apartment or whatever it happens to be. They're paying for a separate residence. And so the adult child, has their own place to live, and it's up to the family to really support them, even though they're an adult. And you would think that perhaps they were able to support themselves, but because of what's been going on in their life, they're simply not able to function. And what happens is sometimes at some point, one of the parents says, "Okay, look, I'm done paying. This is ridiculous. We're just going to cut him or her off. We're not going to pay anymore. No more apartment, no more car, no more money for food." They either go to work or they starve and end up on the streets. And then the other parent says, no, we can't do that. That doesn't help the situation. So we have to keep paying for the apartment and the car and the food. And we have to keep asking him or her to go to treatment. And so they come to me and they say, okay, what should we do? Which one is right? And the simple answer is neither one of them is right. Because obviously if we continue to enable and pay and support the current behavior, nothing's going to change. If we put their loved one out in the street, I don't think that changes their behavior either. It just makes things potentially even worse and puts them at risk. The answer is they have to go to treatment. That's it. I mean, there's no magic wand here. There's no magic answer. The answer is they have to go to treatment. It's a disease and it needs to be treated as such. And so there are two ways that somebody goes to treatment. Either they agree to go voluntarily or somebody else makes the decision for them. Well, by the time they come to us, the family has typically been suffering and dealing with this for years and years and years. And in all likelihood, they've tried everything under the sun to get their loved one to go and stay long enough in a clinically appropriate facility. Now, sometimes their loved one either has flat out refused to go for all these years, or they have been in and out of multiple treatment centers enjoying what I term as the honeymoon phase, where they're there for 7 to 10 days. They're not asked to do anything too radical. And then the minute the pressure's put on and they actually have to sit down and do some work, whoosh, they're out. And they just bounce from facility to facility to facility, enjoying the honeymoon phase. And so if your loved one's not going to go voluntarily, and if you're calling me, the chances are they're not going to go voluntarily and they're definitely not going to stay long enough, then somebody has to make that decision for them. And as the mom and dad, yeah, that's up to you. I mean, that is your child and it is your responsibility to take care of them and to make the decision to save them. And I apologize if that's a little blunt, but I don't know any other way to tell you this. I mean, it is what it is. This is your loved one. It's your responsibility. If you want the state to take care of it, at some point they will, but you won't like the result. And you won't like being told that you no longer have any rights, any say in the matter. Right? So we want you to step in, whether it's the Marchman Act or the guardianship or a combination of both. It doesn't really matter for purposes of this video. But the simple fact is that enabling or not enabling is really off the table. You've got to get them into treatment. You have to keep them there long enough. It has to be a clinically appropriate facility. And while all of that's going on, I want you to work on yourselves. I want the family to deal with the trauma of having a loved one who has been sick for years and years and years because their brain has been kidnapped by this horrible disease. Because that's what it is. And that's why they can't make the decision to save themselves, because if they could, they would. So you got to do it for them. You got to save them. And so I wanted to share that with you because it's something that comes up pretty frequently, and it does cause tremendous stress between parents and amongst family members. You got to get them to treatment. That's it. That's the bottom line. So I appreciate you tuning in. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And if you could subscribe to the channel, I'd be most grateful. Thank you for tuning in. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.